This is the second episode of Gymcast with Jim John. I'm not gonna lie, today's episode was, it felt like in some points a little kind of everywhere, but I can't help it. This is barely the second episode. But next episode we'll have a much better structure. Okay, I wanted to get this video out because I want to actually post more content. I want to say thank you to everybody who supported on last week's episode. It made me really happy to see that people actually liked the content, that people were actually watching the content. That makes me very happy, and it makes me very excited for what the future is going to hold. If there's any topics, any people that you want to see, or anybody that wants to come on and talk, I'm more than happy to have you guys on here and talk and just talk about life, the gym, our experiences. I'm more than happy to talk about those things. Again, I promise the quality as we go on will get better and that the segments will get better. Okay. This is the second episode, and I will say it was a little rough and a little all over the place, but I'm making a commitment to posting regularly, posting these podcasts regularly, because I want to be king of the pirates. I want to be, like Luffy. 2, 1. And we are back. It is the second episode of Gymcast. It's your host, Jim John, the one and only host, actually. I just wanted to say something really quick. David and Pablo, you guys both canceled on me. Low key, I'm not gonna lie to you. Big facts. It's all good. It's all good. Y'all got your reasons. It's cool. But I just wanted to put you guys on blast real quick because David, supposedly his car or his tire or something like that, he had to get a new tire because there's like a huge metal bar, which is like, it's cool, but it's like you can't show up. Like, you can't just get an Uber over here. And then like Pablo, he has like a kid or something he's got to support, which I don't know, bro. Get your priorities straight. You know what I'm saying? Come on the podcast. That's more important. This is so funny because my girlfriend's here and I'm literally talking to myself. Like, schizophrenia, I'm almost 100% sure runs in my family. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm pretty sure we had a family member who was schizophrenic. 2. I think we have 2 or have had 2. I don't know if they're still alive. One of them is. Isn't that crazy? I think that's where I get my ability to just like talk. Just all the time. I don't know. So we're actually going to restart the Joy Taylor segment because that was low-key kind of crazy. I feel like I didn't get my thoughts off correctly. So this is a redo of a segment that you guys are never going to see. But there's something that I wanted to talk about before we get on with this podcast. And this is going to be pretty brief, but I want to talk about the Joy Taylor situation. Now, in my opinion, this has set women back in the industry by like 50 years. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a bad look for commentators and just FS1 in general. I don't know what they're going to do if they're going to have Skip Bayless address any of these allegations. Probably not, because I think this is in court. That's why we know all of this information. But I have some stuff written down here about the Joy Taylor thing, but we'll talk a little bit about the lawsuit. So a hairdresser or hairstylist is suing FS1 for alleged SA. Now, this is all allegedly, so take it with a grain of salt, and I'm also paraphrasing. So, take that into consideration. But this hairstylist is suing FS1 because while she was on set, allegedly somebody grabbed her buttocks. Okay? That's not okay. Doesn't matter what situation. And whether it's allegedly or not, you should never be in that kind of environment. But it gets worse. So apparently Skip Bayless was also not throwing jabs, but like being flirtatious and probably, I think it was also hinted at innuendos with her. Okay. The craziest part of all this is that she alleges that Skip Bayless offered $1.5 million to sleep with her. $1.5 million. So ladies, keep your standards up, because there's a guy out there willing to spend 1.5 mil on you. And some of you got guys not even wanting to take you out to Applebee's. What are we doing? But let's talk about the Joy Taylor thing. So Joy Taylor is on FS1 with Skip Bayless. Well, I don't know if she'll be on there anymore. Skip Bayless and I think another co-host. I think Emmanuel Ocho is another one. I'm not too familiar ever since Shannon Sharp left. I really haven't paid attention or watched FS1, so I feel like that says a lot. But Joy Taylor, because of the lawsuit, there's some drama with her. So Joy Taylor, prior to joining FS1, is allegedly been sleeping with an executive on that show, Charlie Dixon. And that was her way of working up the ranks. That's how she got on FS1. Now I got to say allegedly, because I don't need a cease and desist coming my way. I don't even have 1,000 subscribers. Okay? I don't need this channel shut down. I worked hard for her. I worked hard for this community. And she's also alleged to be sleeping with Emmanuel Ocho and Shannon Sharp too, with Unk. It's just crazy, man. If you go on social media and just look up this whole situation, you'll get way more context. And honestly, a lot of the videos are a lot more entertaining than what I have to say. But yeah, I don't know what's going on at FS1. Shannon Sharp left at a perfect time because things are getting buck wild over there. Not a good time to be Skip Bayless, okay? Not a good time. There's a lot more to the story, but it's just something I wanted to address because it is mind-blowing when you look into what's being said and what's in the lawsuit. And, like, Joy Taylor, like, her evil plan and all that. It is crazy, okay? It is absolutely crazy. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. And something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. We're going to be talking about my favorite influencers when I was losing weight and the people that inspired me. But before we go on about that, I want to talk about how it came about, how this whole weight loss journey even started. So a couple years ago, I was feeling really sick. I was about 400 plus pounds. I was feeling really sick, and I didn't have COVID, but I was just feeling ill. I kept feeling like at night I couldn't sleep, like my tongue was gonna, like I was gonna swallow my tongue, or like I was gonna die. Like just these weird impending feelings of doom, which if you were to Google, like, why do I feel an impending feeling of doom? It's going to tell you to go to the hospital, which is, it's not what I did. I went to a clinic, but regardless, the doctor was pretty honest with me. He told me, I honestly don't think I'll see you here in a couple months. That's the point of obesity where you're at. That's like your body telling you like, hey, I'm going to shut down if you keep abusing me. And this was during COVID still, so there was no gyms open. I think news of the gyms opening was coming out, but it was still going to be a couple months. But I took the initiative. I was like, you know what? I've tried to lose weight my entire life, and you know what? This is it. This is my all or nothing. Like I don't ever want to get to a point where I feel like this again, and where I'm sick, and like I realized in that moment I want to live. Like Nico Robin from One Piece. I had my I want to live moment, and I realized that I would rather die trying to lose weight than to die have given up. Because that day I had two choices. One, continue the path that I was on, keep eating hot Cheetos, family bags and whatnot, and eating a bunch of crap every single day, and probably die in bed. Or I could take the hard route. I could cut out all the junk food, cut out all the soda, start running, because there was no gyms open, nothing like that. Just be active, just give myself a shot to live this life like a normal person. And I'm so glad I did the second, man. I will forever be happy that I had that moment where I was like, this is, it's a moment of clarity. I'll never forget, I looked at myself in the mirror and I realized the damage I had done to myself, and I was so shocked. I had never seen myself in that light ever. Never in my life. I realized how far I let myself go. And it's really hard for the average person, I feel like, to have those moments of realization and act on it. Because you could go from going, I need to lose weight. This has gone too far. My pants don't fit me. My shirt doesn't fit me. I don't feel comfortable in my clothes. Whatever. I'll just buy more clothes. Or I'll just get more clothes. I'll try for this week, and if it doesn't work out, I'll just try again next week. Or, I need to start my diet, and you just keep pushing it off, push it off. But the moment that you actually stick to something and you start seeing those little results, it almost becomes addictive. I feel like right now we're so addictive to, something happening quick. You get a brand new puppy and, oh my gosh, it's a puppy. I'm so happy. A week later, oh, it's still my puppy, but do you still have that same enthusiasm? I mean, if you're a pet owner, you should. And like, I love my cats. Don't get me wrong. Do they make me very mad? Yes. My cat just made me mad not too long ago. Luna. Anyways, what I was saying, another example, it could be, oh, I got these brand new pair of running shoes. They look so nice. These brand new Hokas. I'm going to wear them to the gym and I'm going to be, so happy and whatever. And you're super excited because you spent $200 on a pair of running shoes. So now you have to wear them. But they're still in your closet a year later. We're so used to this rush of dopamine, this finding something to make us feel good in the moment, that we forget that long term, you have to have a bunch of these little moments, a bunch of feel good moments. And I feel like that's the secret to success, is setting up a system where you have a bunch of feel good moments, where you wake up one day, you know what? That's a feel good moment. I woke up another day. Another feel good moment could be, hey, my pants from work fit me a little looser than usual. I actually feel comfortable in my clothes. That's a win. Or, hey, it was actually a lot easier to get out of bed today, or I made my bed. That's another win. I packed my lunch. That's another win. And you start to realize all these little wins eventually stack up to one big win. And that's how progress is made in anything. Little wins contribute to one massive win. And I feel like that's a key secret to success. With all that being said, I learned a lot of stuff from some of my favorite influencers. I'm not going to have them in like a specific order because I don't see any of these people as better than the other, but because their content offered so many different things to me. So number one that I want to start with, obviously to a lot of people, they still find inspiration, is Sebum. Sebum to me is someone that inspired me, and helped me realize that a man isn't someone who hides their emotions and doesn't say anything and then just keeps their hood on and just goes through life like that, right? That's not a real man. A real man is someone who gets stuff done, who is able to be emotionally available and vulnerable and also open-minded, and someone who listens. Like, when you hear these things, I feel like there's a toxic masculinity side of it that says, as a man, you shouldn't be allowed to have feelings. You shouldn't be allowed to express your not discernment, but your dissatisfaction with certain things. You're almost led to believe that things are this way, and it's better this way if I don't say anything, and that's not okay. There's a difference between what people think of as, someone who's emotionally available and someone who's not, and also someone who's overly emotional. Like, all of these things are different, and you can almost think about it in moderation. All these attributes are okay. But Sebum helped me realize that toxic masculinity does not help anybody. There's nothing masculine about seeing women as objects. There's nothing masculine about having multiple side pieces, or not being emotionally mature and not being able to open up about your feelings. Like, there's nothing. You know what? I'll say this, because I feel like this has always been said, and I've always heard this as a kid growing up, that this is going to sound harsh, okay? So if you're not ready, be ready. But that having emotions or crying or just being emotional overall was gay. I'm sure many men, many people have heard this. Those emotions are reserved for women. Those emotions are reserved for this person or this gender or people who identify as this. But that's not true. We're all human beings. If we were supposed to be emotionally unstable, or not, if we were meant to be emotionally unavailable, we'd just be robots. And is that how you want to live your life? is a robot, someone whose opinion doesn't matter, just an object. No, that's not how we want to go through life. And Sebum taught me um, in many ways that being emotionally available is very manly within itself. And not just that, but that, there's a quote from Kevin Durant. Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. And I like to believe that Sebum falls in that category, where he has talent, but he also works extremely hard and he cares about his craft and what he does. And those are all just little things I took away from him. And that went on to its whole different tangent. Okay. But another thing that another influencer that I wanted to talk about is Will. Okay. Let me take a quick sec. Another influencer that I want to talk about is William Tennyson. William Tennyson helped me in a way that no nutritionist or dietitian that I ever have come across as a kid or in my fitness journey has helped me before, which is crazy because William Tennyson is not a licensed dietitian or a pediatrician or anything like that. He's a fitness guru, fitness influencer. I think he said he doesn't like being called a fitness influencer, but William Tennyson helped me in the sense that he helped me overcome my battle with food to an extent. His story and his recipes and just his overall videos and content helped me understand my connection with food, and all of this was normal. That these are all wrapped up in certain things, and I needed to figure out why. Why I emotionally eat, why I binge, all of these things. William Tennyson really helped me understand that. And I cannot tell you enough how many times I binged his videos. And me and my buddy Omar would talk about William Tennyson in his videos. And just the influence that he had on me has stayed with me forever. And if I ever have the pleasure of meeting Will Tennyson in person, I just want to tell him that, in a way, he really saved my life. And it sounds so crazy to say that about someone that I've never met, but his content and his perspective and his journey, those are all one and the same. But I correlated, and I almost put myself in his position and realized like we are so similar, and it helped me get through a lot of, I would say trauma and just a lot of stuff. And another fitness influencer, this guy. This guy is funny because of the videos he posts now, but I was going to say William Tennyson again, but Greg, and oh my gosh, I'm struggling to talk today, guys. This is terrible. Another influencer that really helped me in my fitness journey is Greg Doucette. Greg Doucette taught me calories in versus calories out, the laws of thermodynamics, and that has stuck with me forever. His content really gave me a better understanding of what the heck I was talking about in terms of like calories, working out, how to diet. Like Greg Doucette is the man. I love Greg Doucette, even though he's a little manlet. Like I think he's one of the biggest trolls in the industry. I love that he calls out Alex Eubank. I love that he calls out Togi and he called out Noel. Like, I love that he just does all this stuff and he does not care. Bro, like, if I had a heart attack today and he made a video on me, he would promote his supplement brand. That is so crazy. Like, I don't understand Greg. I love his content, though. I love Greg's videos. He's hilarious. His voice is funny, and I could just watch his videos all day. But he genuinely helped me a lot in this whole fitness space. And Greg Doucette, thank you so much. You changed my life. So Sebum, William Tennyson, Greg Doucette, you guys changed my life. And it wasn't for you guys and your videos and your content and your stories, I would not be here today. You guys helped push me to a level that I didn't think was possible. You guys allowed me, Sebum allowed me to be okay with being emotional. William Tennyson helped me understand my story better, and his perspective really showed me that, we're similar. And if he could do it, I could do it. And Greg Doucette really instilled in me the calories in versus calories out, laws of thermodynamic, doing my research and not just listening to this lady telling me that I need to be drinking olive oil every morning in order to lower my cholesterol and that eggs are bad or something crazy like that. So shout out to those people. Genuinely love them and their content. Um, okay. So we got my influencers, and then what helped me lose weight? I don't know if that's. I wrote this, and I genuinely cannot read it. Um. Okay, so we'll talk about where we're at with our goals so far. So far, this is the second episode of the podcast. We haven't really delved into any like co-host or like uh, any guests just yet, just because people's schedules haven't worked out, which is totally okay. Like I gave David and Pablo crap, but like really, like I'm literally sitting here with a tripod in front of me with a little mini mic. There's not a professional setup or anything like that. Like I'm literally just really winging this. And they'll be on the show eventually, and we'll get to talk about them and their story. And I'm excited for that. But as far as where we're at with our goals, we kind of had a little bit of a rough weekend. I will admit that. In terms of calories, we've been okay. Like today, we're in a deficit again today. I'm feeling better than I have in a while. Minus the sciatic pain, like it actually hurts, and I was struggling today at work. But shout out ibuprofen, you got me through today. I felt like BoJack Horseman a little bit. Me and my girlfriend just started watching BoJack Horseman. I felt like a pill popper, and there's a point where I was like, "Am I gonna get hooked on taking ibuprofen because it makes me feel better?" And I'm like, "Nah, there's no way." But I understand, why who's someone who's in a lot of pain would get addicted to like opioids, which sounds stupid because I'm taking ibuprofen. It's not like I'm taking perks, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But as far as our goals, I like to say we're on track of meeting our goals. The thing with goals and when you set goals is you have to understand that it's not going to be linear. As much as you want your goals to be linear, life gets in the way. Sometimes it's easier to go back to the things that make you feel comfortable, like binging or emotional eating, whatever it is. Like it's easy to go back to those things once you start to get comfortable, or if something happens to you in life, or you get hurt, or you lose your job, or something like that. It's very easy to fall back on those tendencies. But the thing that you have to remember about goals is that although they may not be linear, don't look at it in the moment. Think about it as the outstretch. So I've given myself 2 months for Hawaii, and I'm trying to lose weight every single week. And I'm hoping by the time I'm in Hawaii, lose 15 to 20 pounds. That would be great. That's my goal. So this is a long-term goal, but in terms of the short term, have I been doing what I need to do? I'm going to say no. And that's real. I haven't been as consistent as I need to be in order to reach that goal. But that's just me being honest. It's not linear. And although I have bumps in the road, overall this week, I'm locked in. And then the weekend, that's where we really got to lock in. And once it becomes a habit, it's easier to stay locked in. So on the content side, I really wanted to record this video today because I want to keep posting. And I know that this podcast episode in specific is going to be a little bit rough. It's hard to just wing it and to just talk, like, especially when I didn't come as prepared as I did last episode with topics and a lot more interesting stuff to talk about. So maybe some stuff in the beginning might get cut off just because I feel like I was a little tense. And right now, I'm feeling smooth. I'm feeling good. I feel like I'm not slurring my words as much. But I want to post as much as I can on YouTube and be consistent with posting and bring on people who are interesting, people who know me and have goals. And I even want to bring my cat on the podcast and see what she thinks of me and my journey and everything that I've been on. Right, Lulu? She's asleep. I had to move her cat post because we have it on this side, and I moved it that way, and she's sleeping on it. She's looking at me now. She's kind of creeping me out. But I like to think that we're headed towards a good direction with our goals. And then if we're consistent and put more and more effort, we'll get eventually to 1,000 subscribers, which is what I want. So if you're watching this video, if you've gone this far, please subscribe. I have been drinking so many of these Walmart Clear American sparkling waters. They are so good. This is white grape. Oh my goodness. Ooh, that's carbonation heaven. So you're looking to lose weight. What supplements should you take in order to help your weight loss progress? Now let's talk about supplements that I don't recommend first. Number one, a fat burner. A fat burner, all it's really going to do is dehydrate you. We like to think that sweat is correlated with fat loss, but that's just not the case. Sweat isn't the biggest indicator of fat loss. Does sweat mean you're working hard? It comes down to your genetics at the end of the day, because if you're a heavy sweater, you might think that you're working super, super hard, but in reality, you might have only burned 200 calories. I don't know. I do not sweat as much as I feel like someone who does as much cardio or, um, lifts as much should. Like, I feel like I'm not an overall very sweaty person unless I'm playing basketball. Then I am a very sweaty person, and it's gross. But I don't think fat burners are necessarily good for you. I think the main ingredient of them is L-carnitine. I think some other ones have some other stuff. But overall, I think fat burners really are just a cash grab. I don't think $30 on a magic pill. There will never be a $30 magic pill that's going to help you lose weight. I'm sorry. That's just the reality of things. Stay away from fat burners. They really don't help. Another thing, anything really from GNC, like their super vitamin packs, you're getting scammed. Like $100 or whatever, however much they charge for their super vitamin multi-pack. You could literally go to Target, get the essential vitamins that you need, and have months worth for half the price of whatever the heck GNC's charging you. Another thing that I really don't feel like is going to help out in your weight loss journey is going to be BCAAs. BCAAs, honestly, it's just a flavoring powder at this point. At least the BCAAs found in most of those things, like they're just the essential amino acids, like the powders. It's not really doing anything for you. It's just another cash grab. Stay away. I'm trying to think of other stuff that really falls into that category. Testosterone boosters. Testosterone. Okay. I'm going to say this very clearly. Unless you're sticking a needle in your behind, then no amount of testosterone pills that you take is going to help you as much as that needle is going to help you. Now, I'm not advocating for testosterone, but I'm just letting you know that testosterone pills just don't do anything. Another cash grab. Don't buy it. It's stupid. As far as supplements that I do recommend and what brands, I don't necessarily have brands that I recommend for this first one, but that's creatine. Creatine is one of the best supplements that you can take. There's over 100 years of studies on creatine, and it's pretty much a super powder. Helps with sleep, helps with recovery, helps with fatigue, brain fog, focus. Like there's no reason you shouldn't be taking creatine. I know a lot of people complain about bloating, but you could find a specific creatine with some sort of formula that's going to help you. Don't buy like the super mega concrete creatine that's like 20 servings for $40. That's stupid. You could just buy the generic one off Amazon. That's the one I recommend. You get like 100 plus servings for $20. Do that. Save some money. You don't need to buy it from Gorilla Mind. You don't need to buy creatine from these supplement companies. Like, just get something cheap. Get something cheap that works. Actually, the EchoVision, I'm not even sponsored, but the EchoVision creatine I heard is really good. I have a buddy that takes it. He really likes it. It's on sale. TikTok shop. I don't even have a link. There won't even be a link because I'm too lazy to put that in. But that's a good website that you could take it from. But really, I think creatine is going to help the most, as well as vitamins. What vitamins? I mean, like a fish oil is going to help. B12, a multivitamin, vitamin D, magnesium. Like, if you have the time and the resources, I recommend going to get some sort of blood work done and seeing what vitamins you're deficient in. That way, it's just a lot easier for you. See what vitamins you're not getting in through your diet, which, for the most part, you should try eating whole foods. Now, I know this day and age where everything's super expensive, that's not always realistic for some people. That's perfectly fine. supplements are there to help. But yeah, take your vitamins. Creatine, take your vitamins as well. Now, another supplement I feel like could help out some people is going to be like some sort of caffeine or pre workout. Now, I know a lot of people are not advocates for pre workout and for energy drinks, and I can understand why. The stigma that they have has been that, these energy drinks cause heart attacks in people. But the reality is, if you look deeper into this stuff, most people who have trouble with energy drinks or have bad experiences either abuse it or have some underlying issue. And that's not fair if, little old Sally drinks a Red Bull and has a heart attack and everyone's like, oh, it's Red Bull's fault. But little Sally has a heart murmur or like something crazy going on and that energy drink just kind of pushed it over the. Like, that's not fair to put on Red Bull. I'm not saying Red Bull's, like a safe thing, whatever, right? But just when you're seeing these sort of things, really make sure that you understand one, why they're being said, who's saying it, and the context. I think those three things are very important when it comes to any of the supplements I'm talking about, because there's a bad rep on creatine. There's people saying creatine causes cancer or liver problems or all of this mumbo jumbo, but if you took a second to really realize why they're saying that, you'd understand it's a load of malarkey. Okay, it's the diet soda conversation, okay? Which I will die on this hill. If a diet soda is the reason I die or get cancer, perfectly fine. I would much rather drink a diet Mountain Dew than a regular Mountain Dew, and you can sue me, okay? I will take the 0 calories over 250 calories every single day of the week. Always, okay? It is what it is. If I get a kidney stone, who cares? Which I won't, because there's no sugar in the Mountain Dews like there is in the regular ones, okay? That's like 56 grams of sugar. And in the 0 sugar Mountain Dew, guess what? There's no sugar. Let me see if we have any closing things. What helped me lose weight? What makes me where I recommend stories. So I'm gonna end off this podcast talking about something that I feel like influenced my life more than anything. I want to talk about a show that completely changed my life and changed the course of my life. Duh. Let me get another sip of water. My throat is drying out like crazy. Oh my goodness. It doesn't help that this is carbonated. Oh my goodness. Okay. So last but not least, something that I really wanted to talk about with you guys today is my favorite anime. The greatest anime of all time, in my opinion. An anime that helped me lose weight. An anime that inspired me to live. An anime that I felt like I was on that ship with them. Going through the seas, going island to island. An anime that made me say, I want to live. It sounds crazy, but the anime I'm talking about is made by the GOAT himself, Oda. I'm talking about One Piece. One Piece changed my life in a way that I can't even begin to describe. I'll never forget that I was actually a One Piece hater. I always said that One Piece was whack, that I couldn't imagine anybody wanting to watch a show with 1,000+ episodes. There's no way a show could be entertaining for 1,000+ episodes. I refused to believe it. And I actually attempted to watch One Piece 2 to 3 times. And the arc that I just couldn't finish was the beginning arc with Usopp. I was like, Usopp as a character, I hate his design. He sucks. He's annoying. And the cat guy kind of sucked too. I was like, the main villain, not Katakuri. I forget that guy's name. The butler with the cat hands. Well, this guy sucks. I'm like, I don't want to watch this. But after I got to that arc, the journey that One Piece let me be a part of is something that I can't even begin to describe. So at the time that I decided to start watching One Piece, I took on running. I started running outside, trying to run a mile every single day. I cut my calories down by a lot. That's a whole different topic. But I was eating chicken and salad, and I was avoiding the tamales. I was avoiding the horchata, and I was avoiding all the sugary sodas and whatnot. And I was actually being healthy. And One Piece, from the moment that I got hooked onto One Piece, so after the Usopp arc, after the Syrup Village arc, I felt that my personal journey and the One Piece journey were one and the same. And that sounds crazy, but it was also during COVID, and I felt so immersed into the story that as I was going through the challenges every day, and as I was going through life of trying to lose weight and this whole journey, that as I was watching the show and they were progressing, I was progressing, and it just kind of went hand in hand. And I'll never forget when Nico Robin had her moment when she was crying. This in the Water 7 arc. In the Water 7 arc, Robin betrays the crew, and she leaves. She leaves the Straw Hats, and in reality, she's giving up her life because she doesn't want the crew. She doesn't want Luffy and them to be hunted down by the government. Like, she feels like that's not fair to them, and she'd rather sacrifice herself. But Luffy and the squad, being the absolute chads, the absolute goats, decided, no, we're going to go get Nico Robin because she's our friend, because she's our Nakama. She is not going to be taken by the world government. We're not going to stand for any of that. And they went to go save her, and Luffy said, I want to hear you say it, Nico. I want to hear you say that you want to live. And she starts bawling her eyes out, and she screams to Luffy, I want to live. That quote, I want to live, changed me. That sounds, I always say that sounds crazy. That sounds crazy. And I'm trying to get better with how I pronounce words. But that quote hit me so hard. There's so many moments in One Piece that I just let my emotions out. When the crew met Chopper, like literally, when the crew met Chopper, cried. I was on a plane. And I was bawling my eyes out. My sister looks at me. She's like, "Are you crying?" And I just looked at her. I was like, "Yeah, the crew just met this reindeer, and his name is Chopper. Like, look." And she was just like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And what's it called? I'm trying to think of other arcs. Just there's so many moments in One Piece that I just look at them so fondly. Seeing Luffy having this undetermined and unfazed and unwavering strength and resolve and stupidity too. Man, all those things just really, really hit deep. It felt like I was a part of the crew. And to feel like you're a part of something, even though the show came out in the early 2000s, is just shows the level of complexity, but also creativity and just the overall design of the show. I binged those 1,000 episodes, and I caught up to One Piece pretty dang fast. And I can say that there's not enough episodes of One Piece. And throughout my journey of watching One Piece, on the days that I felt sad, on the days I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere, sitting down and watching One Piece, eating my Chipotle, made me realize that life is like these arcs, in these anime arcs, you have your beginning, middle, and end. There's moments where, nothing's going on, and it's a filler arc or whatever, and then you got parts where stuff is starting to build up, and then action's happening, and then it's back to square one, and it's just a repeat, and it's a repeat, and it's a repeat. But it's loving that process, loving the repeating cycle. waking up every day and knowing that it's going to be the same thing, but because you have a goal in mind, a goal you're trying to reach, that it's worth it. It really made me understand that it's okay to sacrifice for a goal that you might not even see for months. You might not even know if you'll ever get there. You might think to yourself, I'm never going to lose this weight. I'm never going to get to this goal weight that I have. But if you keep trying and you set your mind to something and you give your best effort every single day, you will reach that goal. I promise you, you will reach that goal. If you are putting effort into something and you're avidly trying to get better, you will see results. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're someone that's never played basketball before, but you decide, I'm going to play basketball. I'm going to take the initiative to learn how to dribble. I'm going to watch film, or I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You are going to get better. Now, are you going to be LeBron James? No, because he's 6'8". Dummy, you're not going to be LeBron James. He's the GOAT. But are you going to be better than when you first started? Absolutely. And that's the thing. Your current version of yourself is an accumulation of all the past selves of yourself. And a lot of those past selves that you're not proud of. And you have to forgive those past selves. But all of those past selves have made you into who you are. And you have to decide, was that for the better or was that for the worse? And it's completely up to you for you to decide. But I decided for me, it was going to be for the better. And I'm going to strive that even though sometimes little, cracks in the armor are going to show and you can kind of see the old John, I'm going to cover up those cracks. I'm going to pull up my pants so you don't see my butt crack. And I'm going to get back to being the person that I want to be, the person I'm striving to be. I want to be king of the pirates, like Luffy. I want to be king of the pirates. And it's crazy that even now, do we know if Luffy's going to be king of the pirates? No. But does Luffy say he's going to be king of the pirates? Yes. And even though we don't know if at the end of the story he'll truly be king of the pirates, I believe he already is the king of the pirates. I believe he is the king. Like, it's that mindset where Luffy's saying it over and over again, I will become king of the pirates. No one's going to stand in my way. I will beat you because I want to be king of the pirates. Like, having that mentality, I am going to be better today because I want to be a better version of myself tomorrow. I want to sacrifice today because I want tomorrow to be even better. I want to cut down in weight because I want to live longer. All of these things correlate. And a lot of the One Piece story made me feel that my sacrifices were going to have a payoff, even if it's going to take forever. Like we're watching the Alabasta arc. Damn, that was a long arc. But did we get to the climax, and was it satisfying to see Luffy punch the bricks out of Crocodile? Absolutely. And that's what life is. Life is not linear. Progress is not linear. But if you stick to that main goal and you're working towards it and you're working your butt off, you will get to that goal. It might be sooner or it might be slower. But eventually, if you're putting enough effort and you're actually working hard, you will reach that goal. Whatever weight goal that you're trying to get, whatever physique that you want, you can attain those things if you're willing to put in the hard work. I don't believe that there's a such thing as that you got a bad straw. I feel like a lot of people get bad straws. I know a lot of people with great physiques in terrible circumstances, or who think poorly of themselves or think highly of themselves, and they have terrible physiques. Me, for instance. But no matter what straw you're dealt, no matter what hand you're dealt, no matter what you're given, you got to make the most of it because you get this life once. You get one try in this life. And I promise you, you do not want to live this life living it as a what if. As a, oh, I could have done this and I could have been happy. Or if I would have just put a little bit more effort into this relationship, it could have worked out. Or if I would have just done what made me happy, I would have been happy. Like, no doy, Don't waste this life for others. Don't waste this life on on materialistic things. Live this life according to how you want to. You know, be the person that you say you want to be. Be someone that your kids will be proud of. Be someone that you'll be proud of, that your partner can be proud of, that your partner's parents can be proud of. You know, be a man. No, I'm kidding. Not that last part, but everything else, yeah, I do mean.